Wealth is not about the how many millions probably that you may want to accumulate. It's not about how many billions that you may want to accumulate. It's not about how many trillions that you may want to accumulate. But we talk about the abundance. If you can be able to move across the ladder, up the ladder, and you can be able to acquire the basics of life, and then besides the basics, then you have something extra. Now that's what we're talking about wealth. Moving from just the bare minimum of getting, that is food, shelter, clothing, education. Besides this, when you can be able to cater for all this, can you be able to move to the next level of abundance? And that's what we refer to as by creation of wealth. Greetings, welcome to today's podcast. My name is Dr. Nene Enos, and I'm here today to be able to have a conversation with you about create that wealth. The reason why we've taken this opportunity is that we can be able to have a one-on-one conversation with you and just to be able to understand when it comes to matters of wealth, what it is and what it is not probably. I know this is a question rather that has lingered, to many people. And if you look around, each and every person is desiring, to have something that they can be able to say, this is my own, that they can be able to grow it from one level to another level. And that's why we are saying here that when you come to this podcast, if you're able to give an opportunity, and even to open up your eye to give you those insights, whereby you can be able to develop and understand how you can be able to create wealth in time. Because when you look around in the nation, you're looking at the economies of the world, each and every country is pursuing wealth. Each and every nation is pursuing wealth. Each and every continent is pursuing wealth. Each and every household is pursuing wealth. Each and every tribe is pursuing wealth. Each and every tongue is pursuing wealth. So you as an individual, you cannot be left behind when the rest of the world is moving ahead and each and every person is running to acquire, is running to gain something that they can be able to say, I've done it at the end of the day. So the reason why we want to look at this wealth question is that this is a universal principle that if we can be able to understand it and be able to follow it, then it will be able to give us a leverage whereby we can be able to move from the poverty mentality level, poverty-stricken household, poverty-stricken individual, and then now we can start building ourselves progressively towards the journey of creating wealth. So this podcast by the name itself, as it says, create that wealth. It means that we have an opportunity, we have an ability to create that wealth. If only we can be able to see, if only we can be able to take that mind and put it into action. Sometimes we fail, to put the thoughts that we have in our mind into action. Yet, these thoughts are the greatest thoughts that we can always be able to move with them and they can be able to help us to be able to gain and to be able to create wealth. So, for you as a person, when you come to the word wealth, what comes in your mind when you hear the word wealth? Then, is wealth money? I certainly don't think so. Wealth is not money. Is wealth possession? Not really. So what is wealth? Of course, this is a question that sometimes you may not give a one-word answer. You may not give a one-word answer. But it's accumulative. It's a summation. It's a summation of everything. So if you look at different authors, different definitions from the Oxford University, if you look at different, terms that people have placed weight with. The bottom line, whether you want to look at it from historical perspective, whether you want to look at it from whichever school, whichever angle, whichever dictionary you want, the bottom line is that all of these philosophers, all of these authors, they come down to one thing and say that wealth is the accumulation of abundance. So that abundance is what now we want to look at. How can you be able to move from the level of scarcity to the level of abundance? And that's now the wealth. So when you look at the abundance of it, that's now what we talk about wealth. And how I pray is that as we go through this journey, as we go through understanding what wealth is, then at the end of the day, we can be in a position to say that I have been able to move from point A to point B, whereby point A was on a poor status, but then on point B, then you can say I've managed to be wealthy. I've managed to be wealthy. But then between point A to point B, it's a journey which you have to master yourself. You have to tighten your seatbelt so that as we take off, you can be able to move. And at the end of the day, you can be able to sit down and say, indeed, I've been able to create wealth. Now, wealth is not about the how many millions probably that you may want to accumulate. It's not about how many billions that you may want to accumulate. It's not about how many trillions that you may want to accumulate. But we talk about the abundance. If you can be able to move across the ladder, up the ladder, and you can be able to acquire the basics of life. And then besides the basics, then you have something extra. Now that's what we're talking about wealth. Moving from just the bare minimum of getting, that is food, shelter, clothing, education. Besides this, when you can be able to cater for all this, can you be able to move to the next level of abundance? And that's what we refer to as by creation of wealth, which is important for us to be able to understand this. And I want to welcome you. I want to call upon you as you listen to me so that we may be able to journey together in understanding wealth and how to create it. Now, as a human being, the genesis of man is that even as we go on towards this path of wealth creation, we have to understand, how did I originate as a person? Where did I come from? Who has given me this mind? Who has given me this idea for me to be able to say that I want to create wealth? Who instigated this in the first place? For those who are Christians, of course, we attain that the essence of wealth creation came from God, the Maker, God our Maker. Each and every religion of the world, whether you want to look at the Muslims, whether you want to look at the Buddhists, whether you want to look at the Hindus, all of these religions of the world, they have got a supreme being to whom they give reverence to and say that it's because of this being that I'm here, that I'm able to do what I do. Now, to us who are subscribed to the Christian faith, then we understand that the foundation of human being, the foundation of wealth, was first given in the beginning of the creation of the world. In the beginning of the creation of the world. So we want to take a time, even at this moment, just to look at the lens in which God looked at wealth towards man. The Bible says that in the beginning, that's the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 1. The Bible talks of the world being void. Even before the creation of the world, in fact, it says that it was void, the earth was void, full of waters. And in that process, that's now when God started creation. creating different things. So we are saying that before God created man, he first of all put in place mechanisms. He first of all put in place systems such that through these systems we can be able to use it so that we can be in a better position, in a better standing for us to be able to pursue wealth as through the lens in the eyes of God. Now, when I talk about the systems, what are these systems that God put in place? Number one, God said, let there be trees. And the trees came. Different fruits, different types of trees are there. Mention them in your language. You can mention them as God said, let there be trees, and there are trees. So these are the systems that God was creating when you talk about the system before he created man. Before he created man, we are talking saying that he put systems in place. And these are the things that God was doing so that he can be able to put man before that. So he was creating an avenue whereby man can be able to come in and flourish before he gave him the word to go and replenish or to go and dress the land. So what else is part of the system that God created? So God created another system is that God created the system of what we call the lakes, the rivers, the seas, the oceans. These are things that God created first of all before man being planted. Those are what we call the systems which God ensured that they are ready and they are available for man. Another system that God created is what we call land. Land is so much valuable. You know, when people hear the word land, wow, amazing land. It's so vast that sometimes you cannot even touch it. We have the arid land. We have the desert. All this, we have the plantains. All these are part and parcel of land. We have the mountains, whichever mountain you want to name it. But these are things that God was creating, making sure that they are ready for human consumption. And this is the story. This is the beginning of wealth. This is the beginning of wealth to man. And these are things that God was preparing. So when you talk about creating that wealth, we are looking at it from the foundation. Because there's nothing that we are going to focus here, and there's nothing that we are going to talk about here which does not have its foundation from God to us who are Christians, and even to you who is not. Still, be assured that it's the supreme being who we call God is the one who made us to be as we are. Beside the rivers, the oceans, the seas, we said there's land. And we saw that land is vast. It's everywhere, you know. We have the mountains on the land. And this is land. You know, when you hear land, this is something that you feel, wow, amazing, land. That's the treasures that people, are looking for. And God said, this is the land before you, that I want you to work on it. So we have the land, and these are the systems and mechanisms that God was creating. So God had the vision of wealth in his mind, even before he created man. He had this vision about wealth. Now, besides the land, we have the grass. As it is, you look at what is grass. But God made it, and there's a reason for it. And out of it, there's a wealth. You may wonder how? We'll show you. Just come with me. Now, God said, let there be the light. the lesser light, and the full light. The sun, the moon, the stars. We talk of the constellations. Constellations. Sometimes, when you look at the sky at night, look at the wonders of the world, the things that God has done, and you want to count the stars. You look at the scorpion, you look at the Orion, you look at the galaxies, the amazing, the metaphors of the world. And those are the things that God created them, and the sun. And God was making these things strategically so that when man comes, then man will be able to utilize all these systems, all these mechanisms in place that he may be able to create wealth. And that's the essence of why we are looking at the Genesis, the beginning, when the Bible says, in the beginning was God, the Word. So God ensured that when man is coming here, he should be able to find everything ready in place, that man may be able to create the wealth that he so much needs. And God went ahead again. Besides those intangible things, God thought about how will this person eat? And he said, let there be birds. And the birds of all kinds came about. Some of you like chicken. Some of you like turkey. Some of you love pigeons. And all this, whatever the name, but they came into existence. Why? Because man was coming for purpose of wealth creation. The fowl of the air, the birds, the beasts that God put in place. We are talking about the cattle. We have the sheep. We have the camels. Like in Kenya, we normally see in northern eastern sides of Kenya, there are camels there. You can move to those sides, the northeastern sides of Kenya, and you'll be able to find the camels there. We've seen the beasts of the land. Talk about the pride of lions. They are all there. Talk about the elephant. They are there. The wild beasts. And sometimes people come and they look at the migration of the wild beasts. The crocodile, the animal that we fear so much. But they are there. God created them. Why all this for man? Because man was coming. So God, in the first place, he had you in his mind, preparing and orchestrating the journey for you, so that when you come, you'll be able to find all things in place just for you. And that's why you're saying that you need to ensure you create that wealth, because already it's been given to you. You have it. You have the potential. Everything that you need has already been given. So it's up to us. How can we be able to translate that which is abstract into the reality? Something that we can be able now to touch, we can be able to see, we can be able to feel. Like this cup here, for my tea, of course. But, it was just a clay. But look here, we are not talking about wealth out of this. That's why I'm saying that we have it. It's just us to use that ability that God has given us inside us to be able to come up with this, to fashion this. And God said, let us make man in our own image. Then eventually man came. Eventually you came. You are born in the image of God. And God said that, wow, this is good. This is amazing. This is beautiful. Then God went ahead and said that, I want you now to till the land, dress it, and keep it. So you till the land, you dress the land, you keep the land. And he said, multiply, be fruitful. Wow, what else do we need? When you talk about multiplication, can we be able to multiply that which we have to abundance? Can we be able to do so? Because the abundance of what we have, the possession, that's the creation of wealth, which we are talking about today. The abundance. When God said multiply, replenish, make it better, that's what we are talking about. And that's why we are saying that we need to create this wealth. We don't have an excuse. We don't have an excuse. So unless we understand this, unless we learn, you know, by understanding we acquire knowledge. By learning, we get information. So we have to be informed. So if we are not informed, then we shall be deformed. And we don't want to be deformed. With this all information, we don't want to be deformed in any way. In matters concerning wealth, no, we should not be deformed. In matters concerning financial wealth, no, we should not be deformed. Because we want to move ahead. God said that let man have dominion. So this is the empowerment that God was giving us as man. Have dominion. That's empowerment. What else do we want? Yet we've been given the dominion. We've been given the empowerment. We've been told that use your ability to manage that which God has given us. And that's now the dominion, the power, the enablement to create wealth, to manage wealth, to sustain wealth. Because God gave us all this. And he said that let man rule over everything. So the rulership, the ability to rule, to be over and above, was already given to us. That we can be able to till the land. Now, by tilling the land, it's not just about digging, the way you take a hoe and you go to the shamba and you start digging. No, it's beyond that. Well, when you talk about till the land, we are looking at extraction. We are talking about manufacturing. We are talking about innovation, being innovative. And that's what you're talking about, the extraction. Can you be able to extract from the land? The land holds much and many more things that we can be able to extract out of it. And this is happening all over the world. People are extracting from the land. We are tilling the land by extracting. What is it that you want to extract? What is it that you think we can extract? What is it that you would like us to extract when we till the land? When we look at the trees, for example, what is it that we can extract from the trees? Many, many things we can be able to extract from the trees. We can extract the timber. And as you can see, the table here, out of the timber. And that's the extraction that God was telling us, go and till the land. I talked about this cup out of mud. out of clay, but we extracted, we fashioned it, and here it is, valuable and serving us, acting as a storage to us. And these are the things that God was telling man to do. And he was telling us, look around, look all over, everything is before you. If it's the waters, there it is. You can extract from the waters. You can extract. If it's from the rains, we can use the rain to extract. And we extract food. You know, when you go with a jerrycan and we water the gardens, you know, we water our plantains, we extract food out of it. So God gave us the ability. He gave us the dominion. He gave us the rulership that we can be able to stand over and above and have the dominion. And that's where now the essence of wealth creation came from God. And even went ahead and said that I will now bless the work of your hand. So God is just looking for that opportunity for us to touch something, and God blesses it. What a wonder, you know, your maker, who is God, is just waiting for you to touch something that He has already given you, and then He will bless it. You know, blessing means giving it the evidence for it to be able to grow, to be something to go bigger, you know, something to be able to flourish, something to be able to excel. That's what we mean about the blessings of God. Causing the little that we have to grow bigger, the little that we have to grow into abundance. And that's why we're talking about wealth. Wealth creation. So can we be able to create wealth out of what God has given us? Out of the grass, can you be able to create wealth? Or do you look at grass and you say, this is just but grass, I will walk on it and step on it? But do you know that millions come out of grass? Do you know that? Out of the ocean. Do you know that you can be able to create wealth out of the ocean? Do you know that you can be able to create wealth out of the rivers? Do you know that you can be able to create wealth out of the seas? It's possible. Yes, it is possible. It only requires that we go over and above. We expand our minds. We cause our mind to expand, to look around, to cause a shift in our thinking, to cause a shift in our focus, to cause a shift in the way we look at things. And we shall see that anywhere around us, there's immense opportunity for us to be able to grow wealth. And those are the areas that we want to focus on. Those are the areas that we want to tread on. Those are the areas that we want to explore. And say that indeed, I've started and I'm now on the journey of creating wealth. And we can do it, my brother. We can do it, my sister. So look at it positively. Look at it that you have what it takes to create wealth. So as we wind up this podcast today, I just want to call upon you. If this is your first time you're listening to me, I would like to invite you to be able to subscribe to this channel. And also, as you subscribe, tell your friends, tell a friend that this creates that wealth, an opportunity for me to do it. So tell a friend to come and subscribe. Subscribe so that you may be able to get more videos as they come, as we keep them rolling out for you. so that you can be able to follow and it will be good. And also, we'd like also to hear your experience. We'd also like to hear your feedback concerning creating that wealth. Are you part of it? So we would like to listen to from you. So you will share with us even through the addresses that are passing here below. And for those who would also like to sponsor us so that we may be able to have the ability to meet, we also like you, call upon you to be able to use the number that will be passing on the screen below here so that together we can be able to grow. Even as we create that wealth, we can be able to do it together as one. So thank you very much for joining with us and we wish you all the best.